Hi, welcome to Fitness V Series, and I'm your six-pack coach. Now, on this channel, when we talk about six packs, we are talking about a flat, well-toned tummy. Doesn't matter how many packs you have or do not have. Now, today I want to talk to you about using cardio for fat loss. In the previous video, which I'll link below, I spoke to you about the role of cardio in fat loss. It is imperative that you watch that video. So if you haven't watched it, please click to that one now and then come back to this one. Now, cardio is not the main workout that you will use for your fat loss. I usually recommend that people use a combination of yoga and training of weights so that they achieve their fat loss goals. But the biggest issue is nutrition. Now, when you've watched the video on the role of cardio in fat loss, you will understand why cardio is imperative in your fat loss and six-pack training journey. Now, let's get into today's topic, how to use cardio. Now, I always say to my fat loss students that we always start with cardio before we start the nutrition, before we start the specific training. In addition, we have 4 stages of fat loss. That is the beginner, the intermediate, advanced, and the maintenance stage. And you will go through all 4 stages. Now, in all 4 stages, you will use cardio. Now, you might have heard of something called the interference rule or the interference law, where it is stated that cardio may make you lose some of your muscle mass. And yes, this does happen, but it doesn't happen as much as it is stated to happen. And I want you to remember that it mainly refers to bodybuilders. These are professional bodybuilders and competitive bodybuilders. Now, most of you just want a flat toned tummy. Most of you are not models and most of you are not bodybuilders. So don't worry about losing muscle mass. Besides, you will not be doing enough cardio to lose your muscle mass. Now, 3 weeks before you start your beginner phase of fat loss, I would advise that you start with slow, steady state cardio. Now, it is usually called LISS or low intensity steady state cardio. You may do this about 3 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. That's just a jog around the block or jogging in the house or being on the treadmill. It depends on you. Now, as you enter the beginner stage, you will now have to incorporate HIIT, which is high intensity interval training, which is basically a training method where there is intervals of high intensity. For example, you jog as fast as you can on the spot and then you slow it down, and then another high burst. It doesn't matter what the combination of exercises is. Now, what I would advise is, as you go into your beginner stage, you can use your high intensity interval training as warm up for your workout. And then on your rest day, you might do your LISS, that is your low intensity steady state cardio. So let's say you are doing upper body training today or you're doing yoga. You might start your session with about 6 to 9 minutes of high intensity interval training. And then it's a Sunday and you're not working out, you might do a very long walk or a jog around the block. So we do that in the beginner stage, mainly to improve our heart rate and mainly to maintain our heart health. As we move into intermediate and advanced state, cardio becomes important for maintenance of a higher metabolic rate. So at this stage, your high intensity interval training is becoming a workout in itself. So you might actually have days where you're doing high intensity interval training for longer than 10 minutes. On those days, I advise that you do not do any other workout. So you could do that on your resting day or on days in between your yoga or your weightlifting training. Right, let's talk about maintenance stage. In the maintenance stage, you can use your high intensity interval training or your low intensity steady state training in order to maintain your fat loss goal. So you've lost 10% of your body fat and you have a flat toned tummy, but you want to keep it that way. So how much cardio are you doing? Basically, you will be doing more cardio than you did in your pre-beginner phase. So the first 3 weeks before you started your fat loss training, you will be doing more cardio than you did at that stage, but you will be doing less cardio than you did in your intermediate and advanced phase. So basically, you're doing just about the amount of cardio that you did in your beginner phase. And basically, that's your high intensity interval training as a warm up. And then on your rest day, you might do low intensity steady state training, like a long walk. So I hope this is clear. And if you need help tailoring your cardio to your fat loss training regimen or any nutritional advice, please feel free to contact me. I will put up my contact details on the screen as well as in the description below. Remember, fat loss is easy. And I don't like cardio, but incorporating your cardio into your fat loss is even easier. So I hope it all goes well for you. And remember, your body is your business card. So work at it.